and welcome back to part 1 of the Poriscope tutorial series, What is Poriscope? In this video, we will walk you through the Poriscope session management system, which allows you to save, load, and restore your work so you don't have to do everything again. Convenience was a really important aspect of the Poriscope development process, which is why all the session options were implemented. They're pretty straightforward to access. You just have to go to the top menu, click on File, and then you will be able to see the 3 session-related options: Restore Session, Save Session, and Load Session. Save Session is the first one you can use. So basically, once you have conducted an analysis pipeline, you would have added readers, filters, event finders, writers. If we want to keep it simple now, don't care about the details yet. This would be, we will look at the analysis, the actual analysis in part 2, but if we added a filter, for instance, and then we create a filter, we have it there, that's our session. We're done for the day, then we go to File, Save Session, we select where we're gonna save it, session's a JSON file, and we can click Save. Then if we were to close the application, and then we relaunch the application again, we just have to go to the top menu, File, and then click Load Session. Find the file we want to use, we want to load, and then that's session.json. Open, and you will see that the filter is right there. So in this case, it was a simple element, but this is really convenient when you have instantiated many different filters, many loaders, many feeders, writers, and of course you don't want to create them again, so you save your session. Then another feature is the restore session. What this does is that, in this case, we have bezel filter 0, right? Let's create another one. Bezel filter 1 here. Bezel filter 1, bezel filter 0. As you've seen, I have not manually saved this session, and I'm just going to close the application. I'm even going to close the terminal. Then I'm going to open the terminal again. And I'm going to write Poriscope. I'm launching the application. And then I click on Restore Session. And we will see both of the filters. So restore session is gonna restore whatever actions you took last time you used Poriscope. It is really important to note that if I had done, for instance, I have filter here, I am gonna create a third one. So now I have 3 filters, then I close this, then I launch the application again. But I don't restore immediately. I go here and then I try to restore the session again. It will not work because I have taken a different action. Because the moment you click on something, on a plugin in particular, that means you're taking a set of actions. You are instantiating certain elements, which means that it's gonna record a different session. So next time, what it's gonna load back is the fact that I instantiated the raw data view and not the filters, because that's not what I did. If I was to create another one and then close it there, it will restore it, but just a reminder that if ever you accidentally close your window and you wanna restore it, you have to restore it right away, otherwise it will not work. But that's why the restore sessions should be used as a fallback rather than as your way of saving your progress. You should not be saying, okay, I'm done for the day. I'm going to close this window and then come the day after and click restore. Because again, it should be a fallback. It can fail. If you get distracted, you click something you were not supposed to click, then you lost all of your progress. So you should make sure to save your session progressively as you advance, as to make sure you don't lose your progress. Sessions are, as you can see, JSON files. Therefore, they are very lightweight and portable. So they're perfect for saving your place in an analysis pipeline. What I mean by this is that you can think of the analysis pipeline as a series of milestones. You have your raw data, your event analysis, your metadata, your clustering, and in each of these tabs, you are following a series of steps. You are loading your data, but then for instance, you are plotting seconds of your data. So what saving a session does is that it's gonna save your milestones. So the data you loaded, the filter you created. What it won't save is any processing that took place, like the seconds you plotted or like the events you found. You will have the elements to conduct this processing again, but once you load it won't be there. So just something to keep in mind. Additionally, some important tips regarding sessions is that, well, first of all, definitely you have to make sure that all of the files are in the place they were when the sessions were saved. Otherwise, if you try to load it just won't load correctly, if at all. We will later on see why that is, but a lot, if not most of the elements are depending on one another. So if one is missing, then the other ones will fail by default. Another tip is to name your session files. I just did it for reference. I name it tutorial, but you should be name it with descriptive file names, and it's really good to include the file stamp, the timestamp. That is really helpful. Another important thing is that you should try to keep your sessions dedicated, as having multiple tasks that are unrelated in the same session makes the session cumbersome, and Poriscope works best with like sessions. And finally, really important to just save as you progress through the different milestones, just so that you are always, whatever was to happen, you have a backup of your steps, and save progressively your different analysis pipelines so you can refer to them at any point. Good session management gives you peace of mind. No more worrying about losing your progress or having to reconfigure your pipeline from scratch. In the next video, which is the last section of part 1 of the Poriscope series, we will walk you through how to configure your settings as well as enable delogging so you can know what's going on behind the scenes.